So we're looking at an AA box that I designed some time ago, and that's the sort of finished design. So what I want to look at this morning, I made my mouse a bit bigger this morning too. I want to look at this top half only, which will be this half here. Now, whilst this one we'll do a totally 3D one, but of course, as I go through, I'll explain that if you've not got a resin printer, but only the filament one, and may not be able to get this degree of detail, that there is an alternative way of producing it. So what we're going to start with is getting the roof sorted out. Now, as last time, I'm not going to be that fussed with dimensions because I'm more into explaining some of the techniques that I've used. So I'm going to start off, and I will flick between these two to explain. I'm going to start off, and we're going to do a sketch for the base, a little bit like, you know, if you're putting a garden shed in, you do a concrete base first, and then we'll build up from this base upwards on this session, and then in another session do the downwards part, as it were. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a sketch on the base plane there, and I've already decided on the measurements of 16 millimeters. So I'm going to use the center rectangle tool in the center, drag out and type in 16, and then hit the tab key to go to the other dimension, another 16, and then hit the return. And that gives us our starting point, if you like. Now, I really want this in a construction line, and I could have chosen construction before drawing it. If I'd have gone over to there and hit the construction and then drawn it, it would have been construction straight away. But since I forgot on purpose, then all we need to do is come down and highlight it. Hold the shift key down, highlight the 4 lines. It's not easy working with a big mouse, is it? And then we'll change those construction there. So there we have our starting point, and we can finish that sketch and just have a look how it sits. And we'll switch on the origins. So you can see now that's my base, and we're going to build up. Now the next stage is to create the actual roof part of it. Now, there's no right and wrong way, so the way I'm showing you is not necessarily the only way of doing it, but it's one way that will allow me to maybe highlight a few extra tricks to you and highlight a few things that can go wrong. So first of all, I'm going to do is to create the sketch that I need, which will allow me to draw out these pieces here and create the ridges. And first of all, I'm going to do the one that goes across the middle that way. And we're going to do a sketch, and we're going to do a sketch on that plane there. And we can still see our baseline. And now I'm going to draw the apex, or the ridge, if you like, finding the edge of the base there and coming up. And I've already worked out I want something that's 10 millimeters. And then click there, down to that side, and across there to complete my triangle. Let's just move that out the way. Now, the next thing I want to do is to create the facility for the barge board. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the offset tool, and we're going to come down and do an offset on this triangle. Now, we want the offset on the inside, and you can either drag it, or as you can see, that's a plus figure. If we were to type in there a minus figure, I only want, I'm working 0.5 millimeter on this. It's based on 00 gauge size. So if I type in a minus 0.5, that will bring it inside the triangle, and I can click OK. Now, the barge board needs to come all the way down here. So I need to extend this line to meet that one. So the simplest way of doing that is to click on the line tool anywhere on here, because if you go here, it's difficult to line up with that one. If you go up here, you can sort of trace down that one and extend it quite easily to there. And then we do the same the other side, anywhere up here will do, and down to there. You can see how the original line is give me the guide that I need. Okay, now that's the barge board. We don't need this line in the middle, so with a scissors tool we can remove it. Ignore the constraints, we're not worried about them. Finish, and you can see now we've got the one ridge. Now we have to do one that's going the other way, that way. So for this, we're going to do it the same sketch, only on this plane. So sketch tool, onto that plane, and the same procedure. From the corner, make sure you actually go on the corner of the line, up to the top of the ridge, down the other side, and across to there. Offset tool, click, and it will remember the previous setting. So you just type in minus 0.5 for half a minute. Sorry, wrong way round. 0.5, we'll get there in a minute there, and press enter. And again, now add the lines down here, and again on this side, like so. And again with the scissors, remove the one you don't want because it's not necessary, finish the sketch, and then we end up with, and you can see the format. I just stop there for a moment if you've got any questions this far. No, everybody quiet, everybody happy? Thumbs up?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I'll move on. Now the idea is to extend these out with the extrude tool, and it's important you do this in the right way. So I'm going to do this the wrong way at first to try and show you the problem with it. Now what you can do is, and it can get a bit complicated because of all the lines. So first of all, we're going to pick the center one here. Whoops, that one there. As I say, if you move around, so get the one you want, which is that one, and click on it. And we're going to extrude it. Now, if I flick back to that one, just to give you an idea, the original 16 millimeters was from that corner to that corner. In other words, the outside, the total outside. This inner wall is set back 0.5 millimeter. So therefore, this inner square, if you like, is 15 millimeter square. So what we need to do with this inside one is not bring it up to the edge, which is 16 millimeters, but bring it up to the 15 millimeters. So therefore, on the extrude tool there, we extrude it, and we extrude it both sides by coming up here and doing symmetrical. And we want to do it 7.5 millimeters. That gives us the 15 millimeters. You can see we're 0.5 millimeter short of the line. And then we can bring the ridge out. Now, if we click on the ridge there and extrude it, now the ridge is coming out again symmetrical, but this time the full edge right up to the dotted line. So it's going to be 8 millimeters both sides. And you can see how we now have, let's switch off the sketches by going up here and switching them off. And you can see there now that that's done it. So the next stage now is to go on the other one. Now the trouble is you can't get at those sketches because the body's in the way. So the answer there is to turn off the bodies, and then you can get at them. So it's these two we want. So we click on that one first, and we extrude it, and we go symmetrical, and again 7.5 millimeters in both directions, and make sure we're on the join. And okay. Now we won't see it until we switch the bodies back on. Bodies back on, and now we can see. Now the problem is that I picked up the wrong one. And that's how easy it is to pick up the wrong one. So it's that middle one. So if we switch the bodies off there and pick up that one, which is the one we should have picked up, and extrude it, again, symmetrical, 7.5 millimeters, join, okay. Switch the bodies back on again, and now we can see it. But there's a problem already been developed. Let's turn off the sketches so we can see. You can see the problem here. So if I now go back onto sketches and I need to pick up the gable, well, I can either switch off the bodies and pick up the gable, which I will do, and pick up the gable bit, which is that one. Whoops, missed it. There. And extrude that one. And as we said, it's 8mm to bring us to the dotted line. And join it. And okay. Body's back on again. See the problem that we've got? We don't want this edge here because we want this face going flush down. Go back to there, you can see it's flush down. Now that's because what's happened, the way we did it is to draw those out, then the gable, and the gable has added a bit more to it. So let's just backtrack and show you how to get over that. If I just delete the extrusions a moment. Right, we're back to where we were, sketches on. So the answer, the way around this one is to choose the one you want, first of all. Now, as I said, the size across the outer is 16mm. So the secret is to choose what you want and extrude it symmetrical, but this time take it out 8.5mm each side. Okay. Then we do the same with the gable, but the gable comes out on its original 8mm to line up with the dotted line, which is the outside size. Symmetrical again, 8mm, join, okay. And we end up with an end that looks like that. Now we got to get the middle. Now we can't get at the middle because everything's in the way. So turn the body off, and then we go for the middle one there, which again, we do 8.5. Join, symmetrical, 8.5. Symmetrical, distance, 8.5. Oops, too many numbers in there. 8.5 and okay. And it has done it, but we'll do the gable as well while we got access to it. And again, symmetric. And again, it's 8mm because we're going to the dotted line only. And we do a join again and okay. And now switch the bodies back on again, and we have that. And all we need to do now is click on these and do a -1. Spin it round. -1. -1. And now there we have our roof, which is as we want it to be. Okay, any questions this far? No, obviously not. You're all still there, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to look at now is putting this top piece in. Okay, so we go back to our drawing. Now, you can't draw on here because it's angled. So we go back on our bottom and we sketch and we choose the bottom to sketch on. We basically do, I'm doing a 3mm square. Okay, and enter. Go back into an angle mode so you can see what you're doing. Finish the sketch. Put the sketches back on so you can see it. Highlight that square. Extrude. And then just pull it up. Now, let's have a look. Let's change our viewpoint. This is arbitrary, really. I'm just guessing it, to be honest. And don't forget to go join. And there's our square on the top. Next stage now is to create this little top bit. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go onto here and create our plinth, if you like. So it's sketch on there, This time, center rectangle, center point, and we want a bit more than 3. So I'm going to call it 3.5 and 3.5. Okay. And that's ready for our plinth. Now the next stage is to create this angle bit that we've got. So we go back now, and what we want to do now is create another little square, but offset. So finish the sketch, and we're going to go now into the construct offset plane, and we want to have an offset plane from this one. So click on there, and we can offset by you don't need much, about 0.75 millimeters, say. Okay, and that will then create our offset plane. On the offset plane, we do a sketch, select the offset plane, and again this time a very small one. I'm going to do, let's say, 0.25 by 0.25 square. Whoops. 0.25 tab 0.25. Okay, finish the sketch. And when we come back down here, we can see now we've got 2 sketches, one here and one there. So we're going to use the loft tool, and we're going to select the first sketch, which is that one. Then we're going to select the second sketch, which is that one, and okay, and we've created our loft. Now the answer is to put, we need a little bit of thickness here for the plinth. So all we need to do is get ourselves underneath a bit, highlight that one there, which will highlight all the way around on the extrude tool, and bring it down minus about minus 0.2. Switch off the construction, the sketches, so we can see what's happening. And you can see there we have our roof. Now we need to extend down this bit here. So we go back to our construction again, and again on the construct on there, and this time we want to draw the 15 millimeter proper square. So we go in the center, and it's 15 tab 15, enter, and then finish the sketch. Switch the sketches on, choose the sketch, which is that one, and extrude it down, let's say 3 millimeters. And we've got a few anomalies here because it should have been 15.5. So we'll just highlight that one, click on that to bring it out. And the same on that side, highlight it, whoops, wrong one. Highlight it, extrude it, and click on that one rather than measure, and it will come out to there. I didn't save that one, did I? So we'll click on that, extrude to there. So there we have our top part done. Any questions? You're all very quiet this morning. Now, if you've not got if you're doing filament printing, you should be able to print that even for N gauge. Now, I'm going to move on now to put in text on, and the 3D text that we see here. But if you feel your printer can't do that, then that's as far as you need go with the roof.
Just one question, Russ.
Yeah, sure.
You haven't pulled down the little corner pieces yet? Or
Not yet, no.
Okay, fair enough.
No. You can do. One of the things I'll do, I will come back to that now, John, you're quite right, because I need to pull those down slightly differently, and I'll explain why when I do it. So, as I say, if your printer is filament and you feel you can't do the 3D printing, because don't forget, once you do the 3D printing, and this is only quite small, it's all very well doing this in 3D if you've then got the capability to actually paint it. And if you've got shaky hands, you might not relish that thought. So the answer is to stop at that stage and actually then on your ordinary paper printer, print out a label to stick on here. Okay, now pulling these bits down, we need to pull them down because if we go back to the original one there, we can see we've got these edges. You can see the edge there. They're curved in this case, but I'll do square ones. So what we need to do in order to be able to color it, we need to create a body. So what I would do on that one is, again, go in, highlight it, extrude it, and as I say, you can either put a measurement in or you can just click where you want to extrude it to. And make sure you're on new body, extrude it, and it'll jump back to join. Now, if it's joined, it becomes difficult to paint, to do the colors, which I'll explain. So do it as a new body. And then do the same on those as well. Whoops. Get there. Extrude that one down, extrude that one down, and that one. So it says those two there, extrude down to there. Whoops, sorry, my error. Too many clicks. One. Extrude down to there. New body. Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's have a look at putting the text on now, shall we? Now, there is a text tool which we will be using, but the text tool only allows you to put text on. What we're going to do is we're going to put the AA logo badge on using SVG files. And although I'm using the AA badge, you can immediately see that you could put anything on if you've got an SVG file of it. So you could put any sort of pattern. So what I've got, like, can you see the AA badge now? Is that a yes? You're still seeing Fusion, are you?
We're still seeing Fusion, yeah.
Right, hang on a minute then. Let me just reshare. I think I only shared the screen rather than the desktop, wasn't it? So this is Affinity I use. You can use almost any program really, and you can load in your logo, wherever it's from, and then you can save it from you as an SVG file if your publishing program will do it. If your publishing program won't do it, then you can see this is an online site where you can upload your PNG file and it will convert it to an SVG file for you. Okay, there are a number of sites around, and you can use these sites if your graphics program won't convert a JPEG or a PNG into SVG. So I'll get that out the way, get that one out the way, and we're back to Fusion. So we're now going to add the SVG AA badge to this face. Okay, so you go into Insert, and we come down to SVG file, and it's Insert from my computer, and there's the AA badge there, the SVG. Click on that one and open it, and click the face we want it to go on, which is that face, and there it is, comes in very, very large. Okay, now you've got a couple of controls on here. You've got these arrows here to mirror up and down, mirror left, right, move right and left, move up and down, and scale. So let's scale it first to get it down to roughly where we want it so we can see what we're doing. And then we can move it and start. And I mean, you can measure this or you can do it by eye. The idea is to have it so it more or less is and you can type them in if you want to. So that's the AA badge in place. When you're ready with it and you think it's in the right place, then press OK. And there's the AA badge on that face. Next thing is to extrude that badge. So we finish the sketch. Extrude. I'll switch the sketches back on so we can see it. Extrude and come in and highlight the AA badge. It's in two halves because of the way it's gone on this bottom one. So that's the badge extruded. Get rid of that one, we don't want it. And then we extrude it, and I'm going to extrude it 0.5 millimeters. So there's the AA badge on there. Turn the construction off so we can see a bit better. Sketches off. There's the AA badge on that face, okay? Now the next job is to put those box numbers on, which are these things, okay? So we'll go back on this face again. And we're going to do a sketch on there, on that face. And we're going to take a box. And again, I'm not going to waste time measuring this. You can do that at your leisure. We'll do it approximately. So we're going to go there, and we're going to draw the box there. And then we're going to draw a box the other side. You can see when you come up, the blue line comes in, so you know it's about the same. And we'll do a box on that size. So, okay. Now, both those boxes, we want to have a sort of an embossed bit sticking out. So click on that tool, on that one, and bring it in, and minus 0.2, minus 0.2, and the same on the other side. Zero 0.2. Okay, and then we can just finish the sketch. Tends to turn the sketches off. And again, now we want to, if you find difficulty in highlighting it, zoom in and it will get easier. Highlight the one, hold the shift key down, highlight the other one on the extrude button, and we want to bring it, you can either type it in, we want to bring it out level with the badge, so we just click on there and out they come. Okay, now we want to put the text in. So we're going to go back to text mode. Click on that one because we're putting the text on there. And now we're going to use the text tool, which is there. Text tool there, and we come in and we draw, whoops, too far up. Do that again. Text. Move the text down to what you want it and draw in a text box. Like so. And then we're going to put in there, I don't know, let's put Dean in there. And it's far too big, of course. So down in there and take it down to 1 millimeter, which is the size I want. And you can, this is align center, and that's to align up and down. Okay, now we're going to do the same on the other side. So it's create text box over this side. Outline the box. You can adjust the box sizes after you put the text in. And again, we're going to call this road. And again, change it down to 1 millimeter. It's already at 1 millimeter. And click OK. And that's them in. Now, if you wanted to change it, you can just highlight it, look, and then you can move it about. Okay, and finish. Now we're going to emboss that text. And we're going to click on that one, or click on the extrude tool, and click on that one as well. Shift key down there and bring it out to there. And okay. Let's switch off the sketches so we can see, and you can now see how we've got that one all on there. Okay. Any questions? Silence is golden.
No, that's spot on.
What I'm going to do is color these in now. You don't need to color them in, obviously, but I thought I'd show you how to color them in because it can look tidy at the end of the day, particularly if you're, as I do, when I put these on our Cardiff Group website, I like to put a finished picture, and putting a finished picture on that looks like that is much better than the flat grey, obviously. So let's have a look how we change the appearance. Now, what we've got to do, of course, is go in and we do modify, and we go down to appearance. And that will bring up our appearance tool first. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to find our colors, and we're going to do paint, and we're going to do glossy. And we have to, I'm going to do the yellow one first. So the yellow one we need to pull up into our palette. So we click on it, pull it up and click and drag. And then we're going to highlight the AA badge. And then we're going to bring that yellow across onto the badge. Don't drop it there, so everything will go yellow. Bring it onto the badge and the badge goes yellow. Now the same with the road letters. But the problem with the road letters, I didn't make them as individual bodies. I just copied them. So therefore it becomes difficult to do. So what I need to do with this one is to, oh, it might just do it. Yes, I can just about get away with it, I think. Holding the shift key down and whoops. And then bringing that one across onto there. No, it changed the entire lot to and that's the problem when you don't do individual bodies. It's difficult to do. So we need these as individual bodies. I'm not going to waste time and go back, but when you extrude them, it will automatically delete to a join. And the answer is to make sure you actually do a new body, because then it's much easier to color in. But you get the idea with coloring in, okay? Let's go back to the fusion bit now, because now we want this on the other bases as well. Now, I'm going to have to go back and change them, I think, because otherwise they're not going to copy because they're not individual bodies. So let's just go back. And what we can do is go back and find the extrusions, which is that one, which is the badge. That one is the thing. So, and then we go back on it, click on the extrusion, edit the feature and change that to new body. And then we want to go back and find the extrusion for the text, which I think was that one. Right click on it, edit feature, and again, make that a new body. And now they'll be a lot easier, but we won't go and change the color, but we need the new bodies to be able to pattern them. So let's look at the pattern command. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a pattern. So let's highlight the ones that we want a pattern of, which is going to be, bring up the pattern tool and make sure you're on bodies. Then select the bodies. So we want that one, holding the shift key down, we want that. That letter, unfortunately, the letters will be individual. And we want the AA badge itself. Whoops. Now, the AA badge I made a mistake on as well, because that should have been a new body. So let's cancel that. Let's go back to the AA badge, which was probably not that one. Edit feature. And again, join, change it to new body. So you can see it's quite easy to go back and change it to new body if you made a mistake. So now we go back to where we were on the pattern. Make sure you've got bodies there. We don't want the other ones for the moment. And again, the AA badge, hold the shift key down. And now we want to choose the path. So we go over here on the, we're following a path. We want to select the path and we're going to do the path there. And we haven't got a path to pick up on. And we want to go all the way around. So we need to create a path. So what we need to do is to cancel that one out. Go back on this face, go on to edit, sketch on there. And we need to add a path on the face. So we're going to go there. And we're going to add a path on there like so. And we're going to make it a construction line. Whoops. Let me just go back a minute. Edit. Construction. And create a construction line that we can take as our path. Finish sketch. Go back. Oops. Onto our pattern. Pick up the bodies again. Holding the shift key down. to select all the ones that we want. Oops, we don't want that. We don't want that one. So hold the shift key down and click on it to get rid of it. The shift key, click once to select, click again to get rid of. And we're going on the path, select the path and put the construction lines on. We still can't find the path, can we? Where's the path gone? Why can't we select the path? It's not letting us select the path, is it? What goes wrong will go wrong, won't it? Let's go back to that again. Why won't it select the path? Select bodies, select path, select path. One. I'm not sure why it won't select the path. It's really odd, that is. So let's, in that case, let's go back to here. And put another construction line on there that we can see this time. We'll put that one in there as the path. Finish the sketch. Switch on the sketches so we can see it this time. And let's now do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we go onto the path, select the path, and then round the path. We want to go on to not identical, otherwise they'll all be flat. We want to go path direction, and it won't follow the path, will it, for some stupid reason? Why won't it follow the path? Because it certainly should, but it's not doing it. Let me go back to this one and then backtrack to show you how it works. So there we've got our bits on this one, and we highlight them all, and then when we highlight them all, we go on to a path. So I'll edit the path, which is be a bit easier. So you can see there's the path we've got there, and you've got the number of quantities because it's followed the path round. For some reason, mine won't do it at the moment. I don't know why. And you can adjust the number. So if I do 3, you can see how it's done the 3. It's gone round the center axis. So let's go back and try that on the center axis rather than the path. That might actually work. So if we go back onto thing again, and this time we highlight the ones we want, shift key down. And this time what we'll do, we'll set an axis. Now what we want is the center axis, which is going to be the blue one in there. You can just about see it. So if we turn the bodies off a moment, we can see the axis, choose the axis there, and you can switch the bodies back on again. And then we want to spin it around the axis. And we want to follow the path around. So we want to do that one. And then we can see them where they will start going around. And let's go back again. Path, circular one, sorry. Select the thing, which is there. And there we can see now we've got the 3. If we change this to 4, we've now got 1 on each face. Click OK. Switch off the construction so we can see a bit clearer, and the sketches. And now we can see them on each one. Okay, if you notice, we got the R missing there, and the reason we got the R missing is I forgot to put the R on. So if we want to go back, we can go back to there. We can edit that one, edit circular path, or rather edit the sketch probably. It's not the sketch we want to edit, is it? It's got to be that one, edit. Ah, there it is there. So if we go into there and now which one was it on? I've lost the original for the road. Oh, there it is. It won't let me go back on that one, so we'll have to cancel that one for the moment. So obviously the road never I forgot to highlight the road. But at that stage, I'm going to stop.